Hello, everybody. Welcome in to the Pigskin Project YouTube channel. This is the week 14 recap. That sounds right.
Yes.
It's been a few weeks, Ben, since we've seen each other on one of these shows. Of course, Thanksgiving kind of happens and,
Yes.
the holidays hit. But with so much that happened in the world of football as a whole today, I think this is one of those where we gotta take a step back and let's recap some games. Let's get back to what we do best. 4 weeks left of the NFL season, and that will come in handy as we kind of hit some of these games. Let's start from the top. Um, what do you want to start? Most exciting game from the 1 p.m. slate or the
Yes.
or the 4 p.m. slate? All right, the 1 p.m. slate. All right,
The game that killed you.
killed me.
Yeah.
We start with the Buffalo Bills beating the Cincinnati Bengals 39 to 34. The Bengals started this game. I think it was like 7 for 7 on third down. Their first three drives were touchdowns. Uh, they were incredible, moving up and down the field. It was just like I was completely all the way back in, just all the way back in for what this team could be, and in an AFC that I think we all look at it and say, hey, there's no one really at the top. Why not? Let's sneak in a little Cincinnati here, and then Joe Burrow throws a little shovel pass at the end of, or like the midway through the fourth quarter, and Christian Benford takes it all the way, and that was the moment that killed me. And then they stabbed me again with that tipped interception on the next play. And
uh,
so this was a game where I, I felt like that, they moved the ball well, obviously, and then like nobody it was always going to come down to who could really get stops,
yeah.
and Cincinnati just could not. What did you see from this one?
No, I mean it really does come down to like those two turnovers. Again, there was like 7.5 minutes left in the game, and the Bengals were up like 28-18. And you're like, oh, it's 7 minutes left, like it's a shoe in. There's like, oh, Bengals have it. And then you like have back-to-back turnovers, again, the pick six, and then immediately after the very next offensive snap, that is an interception that both lead to touchdowns. Obviously that's going to be a huge swing point in the game. And it just comes down to like, we love Joe Burrow and he can do a lot, but if his defense is not going to be able to hold, it's going to be rough. And again, it's easy to be like, again, yeah, they had two turnovers that they screwed points on and whatnot, which is sure, but you also let up 25 other points throughout the rest of the game. And it's awesome, again, if Joe Burrow can put up 34 points, but it's not going to matter if your defense isn't going to show up. And it looked early on in the game that they were going to, but then you let up 21 points in the fourth quarter, which is not a recipe for any winning team. But again, it is always a treat to watch the Bengals and Joe Burrow play. Glad he's back at least.
Yeah, the Bills ended up finishing with a 67 passing success rate, which is pretty good. But yeah, it's just this defense. I understood what the idea was. Okay, we get rid of Anarumo. We're gonna bring in a college developmental, you know, idea with Al Golden, who's
Yes.
been here before. He was here a few years ago. We're gonna draft a ton of guys, and hopefully he could get the most out of these young guys. Only one of them have really like hit the ground running this season, and DJ Turner, and even he's like a limited cover player. He doesn't really force interceptions. He doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
tackle well. He is a good cover player. Everybody else who they've kind of drafted out of that like this bucket of the last few years, man, just it's not good enough. I don't know.
No.
And then they also have to trade away their veterans like Logan Wilson for a seventh round pick at the deadline because it's just not good enough. So, again, I don't know what to do big picture with Cincinnati. It's just like throw your hands. Is it like the quarterback conversation when you don't have one? Let's just draft another one. Just keep drafting, guys. You'll get one eventually. But overall, this defense is just a step away. from actually like keeping this team competing. I wonder, like I said before the season, with that T Higgins contract, kind of gave you the runway to compete and theoretically compete with those three guys, him, Chase, and Burrow for the next 2 years, and you kind of lose this year. So next year, just wonder what it looks like. Um, didn't run the ball well. Obviously, that's not. It just isn't how they're gonna win games. We have the weird James Cook fumble that felt like the football gods after he fumbled out of the back of the end zone. They reviewed
Yes.
it and didn't overturn it. Um, but overall, Buffalo gets the win in the end, keeps them in great, great driver's seat to get the 5 seed, which I
Yes.
you probably want to sit if they're not in position to, get the division, but they still have another game against New England coming up next weekend. So again, if they go into New England and win that one, there's a world that Buffalo could still take this division out from under New England's noses. And then we move on. Let's stay in the division, going Steelers Ravens. The Steelers pick up an excellent win, and Aaron Rodgers, he looked young again. He looked like he found the fountain of youth. Maybe not by 10 years, but at least 5,
Yeah.
because there was some evasion there. His first throw of the game, I don't know if you saw it, but like the first throw of the game was that 50-yard go route to Metcalf,
Hmm.
perfect on the money, and it was like that was when I sat up in my chair. It's like, oh, all right, these guys are ready to play. After last week, the Buffalo game, it felt like there was no fight whatsoever. They came to play in this one. They didn't have a run game at all, Ben. Their leading rusher was Kenneth Gainwell with 15 yards in this one,
Yeah.
and Rodgers didn't take any sacks. They had more. They showed a stat during the game, and then I'll get to you, where in their last 5 games they had 0 completions of over 20 plus air yards. At one point in their first drive of the third quarter, they had already had 3 in the game. So you just think about like the Steelers and what they can do in like a single game sample size game plan. They did it perfectly today.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, as you can see by my here, yeah, there it is. Rogers resurgence there. But no, it's this was kind of felt like the game that like or that the Steelers were gonna win. Like with all the clamor with Mike Tomlin and like, oh, he should be fired. Maybe we don't want him. This is perfectly Steelers to like go out and actually win this division game. But again, we had spent time talking about Aaron Rodgers. The flip side of that is like Lamar Jackson. And like I don't know what monster came and like stole his powers since being back from injury, but he has just not looked like the same quarterback
He doesn't
anymore. He
look
just seems
healthy. I
rushed.
don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but he just doesn't look healthy.
Yeah, he just doesn't look like himself. Again, for all the criticism that he was coming out of the draft and everything, he's been for the most part a very confident quarterback within the pocket, and he just isn't that since being back. Again, he just seems rushed. He seems off his mark. I mean, again, ever since being back, it's not even like it's a 1 game sample size at this point. And I mean, at what point with the Ravens, you're just like, hey, like it's just not worth it. If you truly aren't healthy, just sit out because you're not adding anything to this team at this point with how you've been playing. It has been bad, 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 bad to that point where you're like, okay, it's not worth it. Maybe you should sit out. Again, it's only time will tell, and I don't think it's something to like worry in future seasons. But again, it goes back to what we had said. This just kind of seems like it's going to be a long season for the Ravens. And if Lamar's going to continue to play like it, it's going to be everything that and more.
Yeah, the contrary to your like sit out, your alternative is Tyler Huntley. So I think they're just gonna continue to like hopefully we figure this out. And but it's
Tyler
yeah.
Huntley beat the Bears. I mean, So
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to be that guy. Obviously, I mean, I'm saying that
Yeah.
more in a joking manner. But I mean, just with it feels weird to say and it feels gross to say it. But I mean, the sad truth is like based off of how Lamar has played the last couple of weeks, there really isn't that much of a difference between the way Tyler Huntley was playing and the way that Lamar Jackson was playing. And one is your franchise quarterback that you're risking future injury with, who, again, as you said, looks like he is playing hurt. And if you're going to get the same level of play, at least let your future quarterback rest up and, have it not be something that's going to hurt you later into next season. But I don't know. I know we are far, far polar opposites in terms of spectrum, especially considering the quarterback in terms of should they play or should they not? Again, we're far apart on Jaden
Yeah.
Daniels, which we'll get into in a minute. We're far apart on Joe Burrow. We're going to be far apart on this. So
But this one's different. They're still like
this is
theoretic.
different.
This
Yes.
is not a
Yeah.
long shot.
Yeah.
They still get Pittsburgh again in week 18, which
I mean,
I
they're still in the hunt
I'll
too.
say it
They're a
now,
couple games
Ben.
back,
That's going to be
but
the Sunday night game, and it's going to be the last game of the season. It's going to be for the division. It's going to be for a playoff spot, and it's going to close. I'm already predicting that now, a month ahead. Just writing on the wall says they're both going to have the same record, and it's going to be for the division in
all
Pittsburgh.
right.
But Derrick Henry, I mean, they not like an uber effective game, but this was one of their more successful success rate games running the football this year. Like that's been weird as Baltimore hasn't been able to run the football well, and he was good today. So again, just a weird again comes down to sometimes stop kicking field goals in the red zone. You know,
Yeah.
that's sometimes what it comes down to is 2 for 6 in the red zone for Baltimore. Also, little more tidbits before we go. The Steelers, 3 drives in the fourth quarter, three and outs. So interesting. That was
Yep.
just funny to see a team win like that in the fourth quarter. We scored enough points. And lastly, what do you think about the Isaiah Likely play? Was that a touchdown? Do you think that
No,
should have been
no. People
okay?
want to compare it to the earlier one with Roman Wilson early on in the season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Again, you have to have firm possession with 2 steps, and I think he completed a step and a half. And I think the ball was coming out as he was in the process of completing that second step. I do not think it was a touchdown.
Yeah, I thought he got it, but at the same time, I'm not mad that it's overturned because just hold on to the football and none of this is a problem. Like just in
Exactly.
like old school, like I kind of get, like old school brain sometimes where it's just hold on to the football, kid. Come on. Like it's just hold on and it's a
Mm,
touchdown. So I didn't have a big problem with this one, but
yeah.
moving on to the Jaguars kind of pummeling the Indianapolis Colts and a season that now for the Colts a 7-1 start when they traded for Sauce Gardner, traded multiple first round picks to go and get him, and now they are just entirely clouded by what Daniel Jones and what happened today with him. Ruptured Achilles, that's pretty much confirmed in his right leg after walking into this game with a fracture, not fractured, but a fracture in his left leg. That apparently he had some brace that
Some
Duke
fancy,
students
yeah.
had created. So again, this is a guy that is going all out, man, and this was his shot to earn that second. I mean, he's had a second contract, but you get my point. Like he could have gotten this second chance, and I still think he's going to be the Colts quarterback
He
next year.
should.
But this adds a lot of clouded judgment for this offseason and the rest of this Colts season because they are now out of the playoffs with what happened on Sunday Night Football, and so they are now punching above their weight, trying to get back in with a rookie fifth-round pick who, hey, I liked Riley Leonard. I had him ranked. I thought he went where he kind of should be drafted. I don't know if he could step in there and play against Seattle next weekend. I'll be
No,
honest.
no.
So, again, for the Colts, more big picture, what a season that looked so unbelievably promising, and just this runaway like storyline has now instantly become a real nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, all due to injury. Again, as you said, I mean,
Mhm.
Sauce now out for the season. DeForest Buckner's been up in the air. I mean, he went on IR. Now you have the popped Achilles of Daniel Jones, who has been the story of the year. Um, and it truly is a shame because when they were running on all cylinders, they looked almost unbeatable. And it just mucks up an already cloudy picture in the AFC in general. And again, it's a conversation that we've had quite often is like, who are the good teams? And we're like, at least we have the Colts over in the AFC. And now we don't even have that. Um, where it would have gotten really interesting is, I mean, at this point, unless Riley Leonard turns into Nick Foles, it's again, the season's going to be over. Your chances are gone. So you would have hoped to be able to turn to a guy like Anthony Richardson, but you can't because he broke his orbital bone in a pregame warmup like 6 weeks ago, which is a shame because this would have been like a perfect time to be like, hey, at least go out there and see if you can get us something of value in the trade market this coming season. You can't even do that. And now you're relying on, again, Riley Leonard and Brett Rippon at this point, which brings you, I mean, no confidence at all. I mean, Riley Leonard looked better than I would have thought for a rookie that just got thrown into the game without any
Yeah.
preparation. But again, I you don't have much confidence throughout the rest of the season for him. Um, but with all of that happening with the Colts, I think it's easy to forget the Jaguars aspect of that too. The Jaguars put up 36 points and they're just playing a very good brand of inclusive offense. There's not like one particular guy that is like wowing you on this offense, but they're just playing very efficient. The run game looks good, the pass game looks good, and that's what you want. Again, there's not like this extreme end where you're like Trevor Lawrence is slinging the rock or Trevor Etienne is just, running for 150 yards a game, but it just looks like good, solid football on the offensive side, which we haven't seen from the majority of the season from the Jaguars on offense. So good for them, and it's going to be a tight race down the stretch of the season between the Jaguars and Texans, and it'll be interesting to see who comes out of that division.
Yeah, I thought this was the best game Lawrence had played all season with just what
Yeah.
he was able to do pushing the ball down the field. Uh, I mentioned the Steelers and their air yard completions. He had four 20 plus yard air yard completions. All of them
Mm-hmm.
were on beyond 25 yards. So again, just in that explosive category, I thought he was phenomenal throwing the football down the field. And the run game didn't really carry the job. Like, Etienne's I feel like Etienne's stats look a little bit better with the two explosives he hit. He had like
Yeah.
a 30-yard run and like a 15-yard run at one point, but for the most part, it wasn't overly efficient. But it was enough, and you put the defense was still pretty healthy, and like you said, put up 36 points, moved the ball down the field, finished drives like that. That's the thing too, and yeah, I mean Jags are now in control of this division, with pretty decent schedule coming up soon. Like they get the Jets this weekend, and then Denver, Indy, Tennessee to finish it out. So again, this is something really looking up in Jacksonville. And then we move on to the 4 o'clock slate. Probably my favorite game of the season. Ben, I'll be honest. Uh, the Packers beat the Bears 28-21. Uh, again, I wasn't on the show this week, but this was the first Packers and Bears game to matter since you remember that the 100th season where they opened the season instead of the Super Bowl champion, and it had this vibe. It was right after the missed kick, right? Am I remembering?
Yes.
Yes, something
Yes.
like that.
Yes. Yes.
And they have Rodgers come to town, and then it was like a 10-3 stinker. Like Trubisky was bad, Rodgers was
Yes.
bad. It was just a bad football game. This one lived up to the hype, even though the
Yeah.
Bears kind of started out slow. Rodgers has, or not Rodgers. Oh, Love has his Brett Favre throw of the game, where he's just like 3rd and 17. I'm throwing this dig no matter what, and throws it right to C.J. Gardner-Johnson. And then the rest of the game was phenomenal, as he can do. And
Yes.
I thought the quarterback play was really good, especially Caleb in the second half, and Love kind of just pushing the ball down the field. Christian Watson has become one of those guys that in this offense that because you needed to have someone
Yes.
take the
Yes.
reins with Tucker Kraft going down. But just overall, I think the biggest thing was just meeting the moment of toughness. Like the Packers met the moment that Philly didn't last week, where they're just downhill. We are going to make sure you're not running for 8 yards a pop against Philly. You're going to run for 4. We're going to make you sustain these long drives. We're going to make you sustain what you want to do through the ground game. And the Bears relatively weren't explosive through the air at all. They
Yeah.
had some shots down the field, but they were pretty condensing on defense. But what did you see from this one?
No, I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it had gotten better in the second half of the game, absolutely. But again, it's the same old Caleb experience that we've become accustomed to this season,
You just want
and
more.
it's just you want more, and a lot of it comes to down to the accuracy of it all. Like there are just far too many plays over the course of a game where you're like, you should have had that. That was an easy throw, and you just sailed it 5 yards over the head, or you ducked it 3 yards short. And again, he has shown improvement, and I don't want to like trash on the kid because that's what you wanted into the season was him to show that improvement, and he has. But I think the next big hurdle for him is can he now get the easy stuff done? And again, we've talked about it so much, and it feels gross doing it. But that's truly what needs to happen. He just needs to focus on the easy stuff. Because again, you have these amazing throws. I mean, to open the second half of the game where he's like rolling out, and I'm going to use the term of what the announcers use. I mean, it looks like the ball just jumps out of his hands, like in a good manner at times, where he can just fling it and it just looks effortless. And then again, you turn around and 2 plays later, you have a dig route that you're sailing over the head of your wide receiver. It's important to note Rome wasn't in this game, and Rome is their wide receiver 1. But it still still hurts when Caleb is missing these easy throws. Then again, on the flip side of it, we said it when he came back. You mentioned it. Christian Watson just adds a dimension to this team that you really, really needed, especially when it comes to down the field passing. Kind of the dimension you were hoping I say Christian Watson, that Matthew Golden was going to add, which that's a conversation for another day. We don't have to get into that. But again, he's a piece that they were sorely missing, and they now have, and you're really seeing the impact that he has on this offense. And it's Toyotathon, Jordan Love. That's all you got to say.
Dude, Bo Melton, man. Yeah, like I mean, it's Matthew Golden can't take over the deep route reins because Bo Melton still exists. It is what it is. I'm sorry.
DB Bo Melton.
But like speaking to your Rome point, like one of my things that I thought this week going into it was like I don't think their passing game is going to be hindered too much by missing Rome Odunze because I think Burden can do a lot of the stuff that Rome has done. Like Rome has not been an aggressive catch point player this year, and neither is like Burden isn't. It's been a lot of separation in the intermediate part of the field, and kind of creating catches off of your separation more so than like attacking the football. So I was like, I think Burden can still do the things that Rome does, and they they did some of that stuff. He had a late crosser coming onto the screen. What was it on like a boot to the right side? He had one of those those deep comeback routes that Rome likes to do and Caleb likes to throw. Another thing, like last thing with Caleb, there's a lot of play action. Like there's everything feels like it's off play action, and that has to be by design because it's all like it is just so apparent. Absolutely. I don't know how I feel about it at times because it's one of those things that I feel like I want to see him take his lumps a little bit and figure it out, looking at
Mm-hmm.
the defense and pure drop back. But at the same time, it's working, and the run scheme is so damn good that,
Yes.
like, this is what's so crazy is that they ran for over 4 yards a carry today. They didn't have a single explosive run today, a 10 plus yard carry today. So, again, like this run scheme, someone said it this week is like Ben Johnson is just spotting 20 points a game. Like, just because of what he can do from the sideline. And I agree with that. Uh, it's just the past stuff is still it's just very bare bones at this point. And
Yes.
again, that's why I'm a little hesitant if I'm ever going to pick a playoff game with this team involved in it. But we're gonna find out that I think they're playing playoff football the rest of the way because
Yes.
they still get Green Bay again. They have what is it? They have
They have
San
the
Francisco in there. They have
yeah.
Detroit in there. They get the Browns this week, and the Browns have pretty good defensive line who will play the run. So we spent a long time on this game, but I enjoyed this one a lot. So
Maybe they'll play the run. We'll get into it.
and then we get into the Sunday night football game. Are the Chiefs dead? That's what's
Yes.
leading First Take. That's what's leading Get Up tomorrow. Leading all the sports shows. Are the Chiefs dead? Probably. I'm not going to say yes, but I probably. And Houston today, just nobody is more just hot than Houston right now. I feel like going
Hmm.
into this game. Ben, did you know going into this one, they have not lost a game since the Broncos game? The game that started their 5 game win streak was the game against Jacksonville, where they had to come back with a backup quarterback down 3 possessions in the final 9 minutes. And here we are. This was literally a team in the grave and now ascending among us because Patrick Mahomes set records today. Um, for the lowest completion percentage of his career. I don't know it off the top of my head. I have to assume this is the first game of his career with 0 passing touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Um, he was running for his life in this one. He had almost 60 rush yards today. Just anything. It felt like that was the only way they could create anything. Rashi Rice still can't catch the football. Like that's been a big issue. And yeah, I let's do it. The Chiefs are not making the playoffs. I'm here
No.
to say it. So, what did you see
No.
from this one?
No. I mean, it goes back to like I said with Lamar for different reasons. This game, Patrick Mahomes just was a beat too quick or beat too late, however you want to describe it. He was not going through his reads the way he
Mhm.
would have. But this isn't the same as Lamar. This was because Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter in this front seven of the Texans are just that good and can force a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes to look stupid. And then, like again, as much as we can talk about the Chiefs and their downfall and everything that this game has kind of signified for their season, there is the flip side of that. And it felt like every second he was getting hit by something and he just did not have time. A lot of that probably has to do with Yanya Morris. He went down like on the first drive, really gnarly. They didn't re-show the injury. Their left tackle, which is again just going to make the season a lot harder for them. It's just again, Patrick Mahomes was fighting for his life, and I think that was the best way to describe it. I still have a lot of concerns with the Texans' offense as well. They kind of just were dead for the entire third quarter. Like, and you're like, like this just might be a stinker of a game, and it might just be like 10-10 when it's all said and done.
But this is how they have
Um,
to win. This is how they have to win.
Absolutely. I absolutely. Again, you have to win off of your front seven, which is weird, but if any coach is made for it, it's going to be D'Amico Ryan. But they're winning football games, and at the end of the day, that's what matters. Again, they're probably the hottest team in football as we speak right now. And again, they're going to make a real playoff push. It's going to be interesting to see who can win this division. Again, it might come down to their next matchup with the Jaguars. Who's going to win that? We'll see. But again, I think the Chiefs are dead. We'll see. Travis Kelce cannot wait for the next 4 weeks so he can just retire and go and live in Cabo and Spain and Italy with Taylor Swift and live the good life. So he was just upset and looked like he didn't want to play. Rashid Rice too. Like, I don't know if you saw the end of the game, especially
Dude.
like he would like when they were like running up to the line of scrimmage, his shoulders were just down and he was just like walking on the line of scrimmage. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, I understand you didn't, but you can't be behaving like that. And it's like a quick side tangent too. The AI Andy Reid Santa Claus, that was just creepy. Can we not do that? I don't know, like if that's a thing. I haven't checked social media, but it was just weird. I don't like that. Stop.
Yeah, I feel like this would be sacrilegious if we just didn't mention what like the Houston playmakers like Nico Collins single-handedly swung all 10 points in the first half
Mhm.
because he had 2 catches for 100 yards, like pretty much 50 apiece to create those drives. Woody Marks, look at his stat sheet, it's not good. 26 carries, 68 yards. There's not many running backs who have been forced to just take the load of
Yeah.
what he's done like 28
Pause.
carries on the road in Kansas City, uh, and just with the way the energy felt, the way that I feel like teams match what the Texans do, like hitting you and just making this violent,
Yeah.
and him being able to like outside of the one Dario Ogunbowale touchdown where he's taken out for that play, he had
Good job.
13 of those 26 carries in the fourth quarter alone. So like
Yeah.
again, I
I
just want
mean,
to
Nick
give props
Chubb
to
got
it.
one carry. Nick Chubb got
Yeah,
one carry this entire game. It
like
is him, and that is it.
yeah, and I just want to give a shout out to, a player that is a rookie in this spot that it's hard to maneuver what he is doing.
Yep.
It doesn't look pretty, but nothing on that team looks pretty. And then one final Chiefs thing, think about what they were last year and how clutch they were. The fourth quarter drive log for them this game. They had an interception on the first play of the fourth quarter in a 10-10 ball game. They turn over on downs on their own 31. They then give up a touchdown. Turnover on downs again on their own 41 this time. Then they have the interception to Kelsey where it gets tipped into Al-Shair. And then their longest drive of the quarter was the end of game 30-second sequence in which they just threw two 15-yard passes and the game ran out. Like, that's the Chiefs this year. They can't close, and I'm really interested to see how they just remodel this season, because when teams have missed the playoffs in the past, especially dynasties, you rehaul in a drastic way.
Yes.
So I'm very eager to see how they reload. I love when dynasties are challenged, because like I'm still gonna call them a dynasty at this moment if they can come back and say they missed the playoffs this year and rebound and they're playing in the championship game next year. Like, I wouldn't put it past this team. But
Really quickly, do you think Andy? And this is a discussion that we can go in deeper to later on. But like at this point, like, do you think Andy Reid probably just retires? Like, there's conversation about him, like, even possibly retiring if he won the Super Bowl last year. Like, there's not much more for this man to
I don't
achieve in
know.
our sport. And I don't know if he wants to go through. I don't want to call it a rebuild. Again, it's more of a retool, rehaul, however way you want to spin it to make yourself feel nice. I'm just wondering. I mean, he's 67 years old. He's getting up there. He's
How
getting
hard
close
do
to
you think it is as
70.
a coach to just walk away from a player like Mahomes, though? You know, like that's what I would
And that
continue to
would
come back
be,
to.
yeah, yeah, that would be the conversation. But I don't know. It
That's
might be, it might be time for him.
it could
Hey,
happen.
he's still good. He's still good. Again, it's not his fault. I'm not saying he should step away from the game because of football
Yeah, it's
reasons.
just it's
I
going
just,
to be yeah. If when things happen, drastic measures are created, and that's something that would be drastic. I think they bring back Kafka,
yeah,
because of the Giants' job. I just want to see new blood. in this offense because
Exactly.
it's Nagy, it's Reed, it's just a lot of, people surrounding this offense that it's been for the last, decade
Yeah.
since Mahomes got the start, and I just want to see it look a little different because I think we're finally at the point that it's just way too Mahomes centric, and I know he's really really awesome, and everything is put on his plate to make the right decision against a team like Houston. You need to be able to have that like bash attitude in the run game, and I felt like they didn't run the ball too bad.
Yeah.
For what Kareem Hunt and Pacheco sometimes look like, this wasn't one of their worst games. And Kareem Hunt, a few weeks ago, like I heard it is like under center success rate, like runs. He was like second in the league. Kareem Hunt was in those carries. So like again, it works. They just don't do it because Reed doesn't want to take the ball out of Mahomes' hands, which I understand.
No,
But
which
um,
yeah.
that is all for the major games. We're going to come back with the rest of the games, a little segment called Tankathon Report, just because I think a lot of these games, not many crazy results today, but some results in the draft order. So when we come back, we'll talk that. And we are back with the Tankathon Report of your weekend. Not many crazy, damning results of the weekend, but we have some shakeup in, of course, the draft order. But let's start with one of the results that I think a lot of people are surprised about. Ben, are you ready to shuck it up, baby? Because Tyler Shuck he's pretty good today.
It
I
was.
enjoyed what I saw from Tyler Shuck today. Just what he was able to do, what he's been able to do out of structure, and as like he had a zone read keeper today go for 30 yards in an offense that like tries to feature Taysom Hill as this like wildcat quarterback. So
Mm.
I thought that was like, hey, let's just give him all those reps. Like let's give him all
Yes.
that stuff. But for the most part, like he had the go ahead touchdown to scramble in where he kind of evades and just makes a play happen. But yeah, I mean for him to look like this in what is this? I want to say his fifth start. I
Yeah.
want to get this right. Um, yeah, this is sixth. Fifth start. Because he came in midway through the Tampa game. For him to look, or the first Tampa game. I know they're playing Tampa. This is for him to look like this with a rookie running back, and like Devon Vele and Juwan Johnson as like featured roles. Olave is a good player, but pretty good, man. I'm really eager to see how this continues to roll.
No, absolutely. I mean, again, quite literally, I mean, the note that I have for this game is Tyler Chuck is getting some run. They really allowed him to again be free in terms of running the game, and I mean that those were like the two big plays was like the plays that he was able to make on his feet. And again, he's a quarterback; you want to be able to pass the ball through the air, and he did fine just doing that. But when they needed his legs, they were able to use them and use it effectively, which was not what you were able to do before. Spencer Rattler's fun, but it's a different dimension when you have Tyler Chuck now. It was fun. It's just fun rooting for the Saints. It hurts the draft order a little bit, but it's just fun team. On the flip side of that, I mean, obviously as an Eagles fan, I see a lot of the discourse about like, oh, the Eagles they're falling off a cliff. This is bad. So on and so forth. But the Bucs, they have had quite the fall off over the past
They
5-ish
suck, dude.
weeks.
I'm
They're
I'm here. I'm here to do
bad.
it. All right, I'm a hater. I'm biased. I don't care. They suck. They suck. If you go
They-
2 for 7 on fourth down against the Saints defense, you suck. Your offense sucks. I'm sorry. I'll make it rules.
Yeah, they had an opportunity to win the game when Abuka like was wide open and just dropped the touchdown. Like, I mean, it was just like it was inexplicable. Like he catches that 99 times out of 100 and just dropped it. And it's bad. I mean, from where the Buccaneers had started the season to where they're at now, I mean, I just have, as you said, absolutely no confidence in anything that this offense is showing. And again, Mike Evans is coming back. Oh, look at him. I don't think it matters. I mean, with the current state of how the Buccaneers are operating, like I don't think it matters if Mike Evans comes back at this point. Like, and again, they're still in position. They'll be fighting for the division with
They
the
still
Panthers.
they're 7-6 and so are the Panthers, and they still play twice. So like
Yes.
there's still room for either team to sweep the other.
Yes. So they are still in position to make the playoffs, but I have no fear over this Buccaneers team at this point because there's nothing on this offense that they have shown me that I think that they could hang in there and actually get something done come playoff time. And again, with Baker, you never know. It could very much turn back on to where it was at the beginning of the season because that's just the kind of quarterback that Baker Mayfield is. But again, this current state of the Buccaneers offense, there's nothing about them that scares me.
He throws 3 interceptions a game, but the other team gets to decide if they're caught or not. I swear to God, I just it's one of those things with him that like I everybody loves Baker Mayfield, and I'm the one person in the world that's like I don't.
I'm
But
with you.
I
No,
understand.
I'm right there with you. Really
It's
quickly too. For as much as like the Saints are just like outright, just like not really a good football team. I'm sorry. I think you can even admit that
yeah.
their run defense continues. Like, oh my gosh, like this. Like I watch this team, and I mean, what you guys are able to do in terms of defending the run, like blows me away. Like you guys
They
are.
yeah,
I
the
don't know what the
numbers are
statistics
good.
are, but like you guys are good run defense.
The numbers like 39 carries for 179 yards for them. Outside of Bucky Irving's like 30-yard run, he was basically like a non-factor. Like he was
Mm-hmm.
getting run stuffed all day long. They that was the most explosive part of but it wasn't like efficient. If that makes sense. Like they hit some explosives in the run game, and Baker has like the best part about his game is what he can do scrambling. But yeah, the Bucks. I'm out. I'm out. So let's. I'm gonna take myself out of this team. But Chris Godwin looked good. So good for him. He made that
Yeah.
decision, that financial decision to stay with Tampa Bay, and hasn't been great this season, but finally looking to get healthy. I promise everybody, not every game is gonna feel like this. But moving on, if you have anything left on this one, uh, outside,
Nope.
I'll say one more thing. The Tyler Shuck interception shouldn't be on him. All right, we should take that off his stat sheet. All
Yes.
right, I don't know if you saw it. It was a complete just miscommunication, and he just threw an arm punt to Zion McCollum. So that was one of those things that I was like, that's not on him. But we move on to the most entertaining Tank Bowl game of the day. The Titans beat the Browns in a game that Tony Pollard had 250-yard rushing touchdowns today. Uh, Interesting. And Shador Sanders had over 300 yards passing today. Just a wild game, one of those games that just happened. And also, the Browns lost at home. Can you believe it, Ben? I couldn't believe it.
I can't.
Um, they're unbeatable at home. We've talked about this. But overall, the Shador part of this, uh, and maybe holistically making this like a rookie conversation because I want to include Harold Fannin in this. Um, for this rookie class to look like this wasn't the best Judkins game. He has that little screen pass that he takes like 70 yards, almost
hmm
scores. But what they've gotten out of this rookie class, and then on like defensive side of the ball with Carson Schwarzenegger, um, I they're pretty good. This is a pretty good draft class that I just want to give shouts to. And why weren't we starting Shador sooner? I I guess the politics of drafting a guy in the third round compared to a fifth round, but there is just so much more pop and explosiveness in this fast game compared to whatever Dylan Gabriel was ever going to give you. Did you watch any Oregon football game? He is not an explosive threat at all. But Yeah, I think Cleveland looked pretty solid, and Tennessee hits enough explosives, especially in the run game today. And they every single time they could, they popped the Shador celebration. You know,
Oh,
the
it was
arm in the
great.
air. They popped it every time. I was dying laughing.
It was no, it was fantastic. It was quite funny. It really was. No, I mean, again, the reason it looks this good is because again, for a defense that like prides themselves on being just like all around very good, but particularly in the run game, they just got gashed. Again, two explosive plays by Tony Pollard that really um, set this up here. Um, Cam Ward, 2 weeks in a row where he's played good defenses and hasn't looked like bad. We're
Yeah.
finally seeing improvement, which is good. I mean, I'm sure at this point everyone has seen the highlight of him just like stiff arming Grant Delpit into the ground to shake off his sack, which was absolutely fantastic. Um, Again, it looks good. There's not a whole lot of takeaways that you can have. Um, Really the only thing that annoyed me about this game, and maybe it's because it was red zone, I don't know who the actual broadcast was, but Scott Hansen probably mentioned that those jerseys that the Browns were wearing were sponsored by Dude Wipes probably like 10 times. I understand. I don't care. You don't have to say it every single time when talking about these like that's what pissed me off the most about this game was Scott Hansen and the dude wipe jerseys. But again, it's a tankathon. These are going to be two teams fighting for top five or jockeying for top five position in the draft. And again, good on both the quarterbacks. They're looking good.
Yeah, I liked the Tennessee game plan for because Miles Garrett ended up having one sack in this game, but he only had one
Yes.
pressure as well. Uh, I their game plan for like the first half was like run away from that guy. Just we're gonna do everything
Good
in
game
our
plan.
we're gonna do everything in our offense on the other side of the ball, wherever he is. And
Yeah.
I kind of liked. I thought that was just funny because sometimes football is that simple. Let's just not go at that guy.
Yeah.
But we move on to some very stinky games. The rest of the way, I think it was just a lot of blowout central. The Dolphins beat the Jets in a game that Brady Cook played, and the Dolphins were up 21-0 with 4 minutes left in the first quarter. So this one kind of just ran away, had no attention on it. Again, the Dolphins win again. So just like big picture, what they've been able to do, like Mike McDaniel, you're safe, thumbs up. They're 6-7, so like doing the thing. I thought that would be funny to do, but yeah, I mean they've won what 4 in a row now. So shout out to them. Good job, Dolphins and Jets, sitting on what we're gonna call the Mendoza line the rest of the way whenever we talk about some of these teams at the top. But any thoughts? Any at all?
No, not much. The only touchdown came from the Jets special teams, which like continues to be an impactful
Mhm.
unit, which is like funny. Again, it didn't impact the grand scheme of this game, but it looks like a good special teams unit. So props to the Jets. At least they have that. Something had to give in this game. Tua was undefeated against the Jets in his career, and
I
he
saw this.
also
Okay,
had
I saw
never
this.
won
I
a
saw this.
game in below freezing. So like something had to
No, it
give.
wasn't even below freezing. It was like 45 degrees. It was. It
40.
wasn't. It wasn't
There
even
you
like the
go.
freezing point.
There you go. So something had to give, and it was the 45 degrees Tua weather. Again, it helps when you're playing Brady Cook on the other side of the football. But again, I don't think there's a whole lot of takeaways that you can have from this game.
Yeah, not much. Jalen Wright had a pretty good stat sheet, so shout out to him.
Mhm.
24 carries, 107 yards. His longest was 12 yards. So again, that's not like a 60-yard carry propping up his
Yeah.
stats. So for him to sound that efficient, pretty good. Next, we move on to Vikings 31, Commanders nothing. 9 was activated.
9.
Everybody, I can't get enough of the 9 memes. But I thought he was good. I thought he was really
Sleep
good.
Agent. He was good.
Just,
He was good.
just for
Efficient.
what we have seen up to this point, I think for it to look like this is a good sign. And also, when we do the when did you check out of this game? The Vikings scored on their opening drive. The Commanders had an 8-minute, 15-play on downs end drive in the red zone. And then the Vikings responded that with a 19-play, 98-yard, 12-minute drive to score a touchdown and take the lead 14-0. You just blinked, and this game had 5 minutes left in the second quarter, just all of a sudden. And that was when I checked out of this game, and I saw the interception with Daniels. I saw him get kind of pushed down on the elbow. He didn't come back in. Probably could have. Likely don't see him again, I have to imagine, just because they're just going to, at this point, tank away the rest of the season, see what they are. But overall, anything from the McCarthy performance, because I feel like that's the only takeaway to have from this one.
No, he was efficient. Again, he didn't have like a crazy. I mean, he threw for 3 touchdowns, but he didn't have like a crazy game. He was 16 of 23, 163.
I'm gonna go back and watch
touchdowns.
this one this week.
He was efficient. Again, it was a good game, 31-0. The offensive line is still very much a concern for me of the Vikings. The fact that you're letting this defense and the Commanders get 4 sacks on you is not good.
That could be a thing, though.
Yeah, well, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know how much you can attribute that to the offensive line versus J.J. McCarthy just sometimes being J.J. McCarthy. So it's the ugly side of it still, which I would be interested again to see how much of it is on the offensive line versus him. A lot of it seems like it's like from stunting. Like Will Harris got a sack on him. Von Miller got a sack. Bobby Wagner. So blitzes, stunts, simulated pressures, as we've talked about before. But still a little ugly, but 9's back, and easy to be excited about this considering where the quarterback play was a week ago.
So one more thing, just because I literally, my eyes go to Jalen Redmond every single time watching a Vikings defense. So he's under an exclusive rights free agent. Can they extend him right now?
They should.
I don't know how the NFL extension. I know there's an extension deadline in the NBA. I don't know for the NFL if there is a deadline. I assume there has to be, but I just saw a guy for the Browns get extended a few weeks ago. They should just run in something for him right now. He's been incredible, and he was incredible again today because he attributed another sack, another few pressures, was disruptive in the run game. I just every time I just want to give a shout out to
by the way,
Jalen Redmond. Okay, but just giving a shout out to him because this is a guy that they talked about him in week 2, and I've just always had note of it where he was a camp body. He was supposed to just be a guy that they used for the 3rd game of the preseason, and he just slowly gears up, becomes a player, and then becomes a very important piece of this defense, even if they're not awesome and making the playoffs. He is a very important piece that they are not going to want to lose at all. So I just wanted to give that little shout out before we moved on. Then we move on to the Seahawks and the Falcons. This game was 6-6 at halftime somehow, Ben. And then Rashid Shaheed decided to break it open. And Kirk Cousins also, because the front four for Seattle finally decided to just change the math a little bit with Kirk Cousins. I think both of his interceptions came on, pressures in the second half. They had another, what was it? They punched out Bijan, which apparently wasn't AI. I thought it was AI, so that's my fault. But overall, they just run away with this. What Seattle is able to do, suffocating you on defense, is just very, very impressive. And this is a Super Bowl team. Not many takeaways for Seattle. The only takeaway I have if we're keeping the the Tankathon point of this alive, the Falcons are really going to give a Super Bowl contender a top 10 pick. They were 1 for
That's
13
awful.
on third down today, by the way. How's that possible?
Yeah, how is that possible? Kirk Cousins, that's how it's possible. Not having Drake May. No, again, I didn't watch any of this game
They
like
were
at
0 for 4
all.
in the red zone, scoring
It was
touchdowns. Obviously, they kicked a ton
exactly.
of field goals.
It was just I didn't watch this game.
That's
It was
fair.
bad. It wasn't worth my time. Nick, well, I watched a little bit of it. Nikki
Oh,
Mawari, my guy, Nikki E.
good player.
Good player. I mean, he's all over the football field. Oh my gosh, special teams, defense, like he's everywhere. I love it. And then we love the JSN stat padding. Both of us are only nice little fans.
That touchdown at the end of the game was hilarious.
But again, he's stat padding for the offensive player of the year, and as two guys that hold a ticket for him at plus 4,000, we are very happy about it. So.
When did you take that?
Oh
we
gosh,
haven't, because I took it prior to the Saints game, like right after week 2. The Steelers. I feel like we got it around the same time.
I think we got it at the same time. I will let you. And I also did some major hedging today too. Like the only two players I was worried about like stealing that was Jonathan Taylor and Jahmyr Gibbs, and they're at plus 700 and plus 650. And I mean, I have McCaffrey on here. That's from a little bit ago. So I did some major hedging. That's besides the point.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, 40-1 is a good hedge.
September 15th is when I had placed this. So about 3 months ago.
That meets up.
So.
That adds up.
Look at us.
Look at us. Paul Rudd style. But yeah, Falcons. Let's see, man. If they're the worst team in the division, like worst future, 3-year outlook.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without
I would agree. Saints are back. And then we get into the final the second half games. The Broncos beat the Raiders. This was ironically one I didn't watch really much at all. My eyes were glued to Packers Bears, and if there was a commercial, my eyes went to the Rams scoring another touchdown, and they probably scored another touchdown as we were talking against the Cardinals. But for the most part, stat watching, 31 for 38 for 212 yards. Sounds like a Bo Nix game. Sounds like a game where he didn't really push the ball down the field, guys. I know.
Efficiency. He was an efficient quarterback.
He wanted to be accurate. He was padding the accuracies. All right.
The worst 11-2 football team I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Like it's just there's not much the Broncos do that.
I feel like every year we get a stat like that. It's like this is the worst 10-4 team I've ever seen in my life. Like really. Of all of them,
it's bad, but they're winning games. Again, that's all that matters at the end of the day. Really, I think the only thing of importance to note is Geno Smith left this game with a shoulder injury, and they pivoted to Kenny Pickett. And the offense actually looked significantly better with Kenny,
because he doesn't take sacks.
Better. Yes.
Kenny doesn't take sacks. He just gets the ball out super fast. So I could see why that happened.
Yes. They looked significantly better with Kenny Pickett at quarterback. Like it was like a night and day difference.
Could you imagine if they bench him for Kenny Pickett?
Even if it's a stinger, like even if it's like, oh, he's good to go. Like at this point in the season, what are you out trying to run it with Kenny Pickett? Like I don't know. I team like give Kenny a shot. I mean, the fans who follow the podcast know that I believe Kenny Pickett was the best quarterback in that Browns QB room. So here we are. How has that played out? Only time will tell. Really trying to ride the fence and draw that one out, but I digress. They should give Kenny a shot. That's literally my only takeaway from this game.
They had a punt return touchdown? Again, this is just me learning on the fly what happened in this football game. I'm sorry. I apologize, Broncos fans. But yeah, I mean that's the difference. There you go, guys. I'll do it. I'll do the cliche. The margins of this game are just so close. Sometimes it comes down to one team getting a punt return touchdown. Also, Pete Carroll. I did see one thing. Pete Carroll, did you see him cover the spread? Did you see that? That was
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, we love it. We love
Seven
it.
and a half, 4 seconds left. Kick a meaningless field goal to kick it between the number. Incredible. Something about it. Something about it
Something
just make
about it.
whenever coaches cover the spread like really just shamelessly like that. Outside of the Mark Stoops against Ole Miss this year, costing me $1,000, but they're always funny. Not that one
Yes.
though. And then we get into the Rams and the Cardinals. The Cardinals like one game, like the one score losing game, just streak ends this week. I feel like the Cardinals were in every game they played outside of this one. The
Yeah.
Rams are just that effing good, guys. Not much to say about the Rams. They're awesome. Puka Nakua,
Blake
awesome.
Corum.
Blake Corum, awesome. Like they had 250 yards rushing today. Like that's just and also Puka was like 2/3 of the passing output. That's
Yes.
pretty crazy. That's pretty nuts against a relatively like healthy Cardinals defense. Like this was a Cardinals defense I was kind of excited for, and this is one of those performances that I think we could start smelling like if Kyler's gone, I think the coach is probably gone too. Even if that will suck for him so much for Gannon because he took this job pigeonholed to Kyler, and now they're like, we don't think Kyler's the guy, but we're also gonna get rid of you. Like that kind of blows, but
It
it
does.
is what it
It
is.
does.
It's the NFL. Michael Wilson had another good game, but
He did.
anything from this one.
No, it's Blake Corum. I mean, they're really now mixing him in to get touches. I mean, it's not quite like an even 50-50. Again, he had one less carry than Kyron in this game. A lot of that probably just had to do with the fact that they were up by so much.
7.9 yards per play is so insane. Just in
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Blake Corum had 10.7 yards a carry. Um, but I digress. Poor Jacoby Brissett, dude. Like poor guy. Like I don't know if you've watched any
I
of
don't
it.
know. He's
He was
fighting.
getting smacked. Like early on in the game, I was
I think
like,
he has a death wish.
did he just die on the football field? He had 11 QB hits in this game. Like he was getting just ragdolled. It was props to him for standing in the pocket and taking the hit. But at a certain point, like I give it up, dude. You're down by so much. You're not winning this game. At least protect yourself. It was it was rough
Jacoby
to
Brissett
watch.
is gonna go down in like the obscure Hall of Fame, man. Like just
Yeah.
in a few years, we're gonna maybe not even just like the Cardinals run in general, but just as a career, like he's
Oh
been
yeah.
around forever. Like and so I think that's just a fun little tidbit, and for him to just like after how bad it looked in New England last year, that it was just like I remember like week 3, I'm like, all right, just put in Drake May. Like I thought Brissett was like could like weather this. Like just put in the rookie. He's like good with the Cardinals. They just like, all right, Jacoby, you're gonna drop back 50 times today, and you're gonna take like 12 hits, and you're gonna want to hurt yourself when you go to the sideline. But you are playing, and you weren't playing before, and so yeah, another Tankathon report with them. Let's do a final little check on the report. I'm gonna pull up the actual listing of it, and then we can get on out of here showing the actual order. So this is on the fly.
Well, really quickly here too. I don't know why like this is out of my head, but like that had made me like go through and look at Jacoby Brissett over the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I just forgot that he played for the Dolphins and like he played a lot
Yeah,
for the Dolphins. He
yeah.
played like 11 games for the Dolphins and like I don't know. I just completely forgot about that. Like every other stop makes sense where I'm like, yeah, he spent a long time in Indy. Obviously started out in New England the first time when everything was going on with Jimmy Garoppolo and Tom Brady and like all these other teams make sense, but I him playing for the Dolphins is just like I don't know. It's just some obscurity that just like escaped my mind, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's he's gonna go down. He's gonna go down in the Hall of Fame of our hearts. But
Yes.
bringing up the, here it is. Let me do something like this. There we go. That looks
There we
good.
go.
This is what we're looking at, folks, right now. The Giants now claim the number one pick because of the Tennessee Titans winning. So Tennessee drops from 1 to 3. Vegas and Giants move up. The Browns, they won recently. So them getting back into the mix with the Saints winning. Look at the Commanders. The fall from grace for the Commanders. Did you know they have not won a game since prior to that Bears Monday Night Football game?
Mm.
That's insane to think about. Where Jaden Daniels just drops the football, and Jake Moody kicks that game-winning field goal. That happened, and then you move on. Just a ton of 3-10 teams that'll get shaken out. The Rams are going to get a top 10 pick. We've mentioned that. Cincinnati, kind of in that top 10 range, and then you look at some people who shouldn't feel like they should be here. In what world did we think December, what is this, 8th, Carolina has a worse pick than Kansas City right now? And
Mm-hmm.
finally, the Jets. Did anybody win the deadline more than the Jets at this point now? Because this Indy pick could be pretty good if things go the way that they are trending. But that is the top 18 currently. I think for the rest of the recaps that we do, we'll just keep mention of it because I know there's a ton of fan bases who do really care about the Tankathon. But yeah,
Side note too. Again, it's a conversation to dive into deeper come off season. If the Giants are number one, like I, what do you do at that point? Like you have to trade out
you trade
because
out.
like there's you don't need a quarterback
Cleveland. It's
and
Cleveland.
yeah, you don't need a quarterback and it's not like you need an edge rusher because that would be like the easy pivot is like, oh, Arvell Reese. But you have Abdul Carter, you have Brian Burns, you have Kayvon Thibodeau. Like it just it's interesting. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I would pivot to Cleveland and hope Cleveland wants to buy. I at this point,
Sure Sanders.
I I had a conversation. How good does he have to be? Like, because today is a good step in the right direction. Like, it's not nothing. Like, I get Tennessee isn't good, but it's to throw for 360. It's not like it's
Yeah.
not nothing. I
Yeah.
don't want it.
It's
I don't
nothing to
want it
scoff
to
at.
write it off into the void of like contextless stats. Like he was pretty good today and explosive. So just want to give him that shout. And it is fun. Like he is a fun story to follow. So,
Yes.
but do we have any flying takeaways the rest of the way? Your Birds play tomorrow, or technically today. Who's
Today.
watching this? So, some some pessimism there, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, it always is, right? As an Eagles fan, it always is. Really, the only thing that worries me about the Eagles is that dumb rabbit. Why? I mean, if for those who haven't seen it, like you can find on Twitter, there's a stupid inflatable Easter rabbit that they have now in the locker room. That's the
I am
positive
all in
rabbit.
on the rabbit.
I
I am
hate
I
it.
am I am pro rabbit.
I hate it, and
I'm
like
pro
I
gimmick.
can
I'm pro gimmick. I can't lie.
I am anti gimmick. It
Yeah.
never works. And the thing is I can like envision Nick Sirianni going into that and being like, guys, I have an idea. Let's put an inflatable rabbit in the locker room. But no,
Genius. Genius.
genius locker room guy.
Give that guy
He
a raise.
knows. Yes. But no, it's just we're 4 weeks of football left. Enjoy it. It's going to be slim pickings, even if a lot of the games are just games that is more about jockeying for draft position than anything.
If your team has four
Still,
games left, just enjoy them. That's how I'm taking the
yes,
Saints.
exactly. Exactly. Just enjoy it. So,
All right. That's all for the recap. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe. We're going to talk some college football on Tuesday. Some major stuff happened in the college world. Notre Dame's out. Crazy. And then we'll talk about
Penn State found a
everything.
head coach.
Penn State found a head coach. Everything. We'll hit on everything with the NFL as well on Wednesday. That'll include Ryan, who you've seen on this show plenty of time. But for the most part, that's it. So, again, do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave your favorite team. But that's it for us. Thank you so much. See you next one.